Hi again, I'm in Los Gigantes in the Canary Islands today and thought we'd have a little chat about nostalgia. That exquisite, bittersweet portion that we all have a sip of from now and then. Unless you're an 8-year-old watching this, in which case you've not really lived long enough to really experience true nostalgia. Unlike us older generation, it seems to me that the longer you live, the more nostalgic we get over things that happened in the past. And sometimes those trips down memory lane can feel like a magic carpet ride that swoops you up and deposits you back in the days when things felt simpler, or maybe just different enough to feel like they had some sense of charm about them. Even while I'm filming the scenery here, I'm wearing a t-shirt from the 1990s and a baseball cap that's made to purposely look 30 years old. And I watch YouTube videos like Rad Graham's channel where he talks loads about the 80s and 90s. See, I'm no different. I get that warm fuzzy feeling when I'm reminded about my younger years. I think everybody deep down has a kind of yearning to relive the past because it seemed happier somehow. But when I've really sat and thought about it, it's actually a bit of a paradox, a sort of a romanticism for times that never actually existed. Like, we look back and we've got this rose-tinted filter over everything. We remember the smell of the summer rain or the feeling of a mixtape that our best mate made for us, and we think, yeah, life was so good back then. But were they really the best times, or were we just too young and too naive to know how messy the whole thing really was? I mean, think about it. A lot of people reminisce about school like it was some sort of golden age, but they forget the awkward social moments, the insanely intense crushes that were never reciprocated, the teachers who probably shouldn't have even been allowed near children, and the songs or the fashion that we loved back then but we wouldn't have anything to do with now. To be honest, mate, I'm not even sure nostalgia is truly about the past. I think it may be more about our yearning for something that we don't have now, something that we feel is missing, so we play this kind of psychological trick on ourselves by delving back to the past thinking, well, I was happy back then, so maybe if I can just tap into that, I'll find the happiness that I've lost. But the truth is, the past wasn't perfect, was it? It was just kind of there, just like it is now. The trick is to realise that and to not get lost in the illusion, because if you live too much in the past, you're not really living at all. Whereas if you stay right here, right now, in the mess, in the imperfection, in the now, that's where the good stuff is. The stuff we'll be nostalgic about in 10 or 20 years maybe, and this time when you look back you'll think, damn, that really was a happy life because I've done my best to experience every moment of it without being on my phone all the time, without being on social media all the time, and without spending too much time living in the past. And yes, I am absolutely going to remind you that meditation and mindfulness help you to do those things. It's not that spending a lazy Sunday afternoon reminiscing about the good old days is a bad idea. Now and then it's great, but if you really want to be smiling from ear to ear, rather than constantly wishing things were the way they used to be, start meditating more so you can romanticize about the present instead.